All right, crime scene 121 investigators, or CSI 121 people. We're going to do a couple of just basic bash scripts on our DigitalOcean Linux server, what DigitalOcean calls a droplet, but it's a machine somewhere in the cloud that we can access. I'm on my Mac right now, and so you are probably seeing my desktop. So let me put a couple of these things away for a second, see if we can make things look a little less confusing here. And I think I might just leave that there. Okay. So, purpose of this little video is just to show what a script is, how to make one, how to run one, and that's it. We're going to set our expectations extremely low based on capabilities of our instructor. All right. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm in a terminal. This would be like PuTTY for some of you, or a terminal program for others. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to SSH to the user I'm going to use is called helper at. Now I don't think it's going to know our the domain name of our. Oh, actually, I think it will. So I'm going to try. So if I say claudeshannon01.ml, it should find this. But if not, use, instead of claudeshannon01.ml, use our usual 134.209.221.121. Okay? But I'm just going to demonstrate this to see that the domain name service out there on the internet, the thing that converts names like google.com or that kind of to IP addresses, like in our case, it's going to convert claudeshannon01.ml to 134.209.221.121. That's called the domain name service, or DNS. So as you go on in IT type stuff, you'll definitely hear that three-letter acronym, DNS, domain name service. And that's the thing that when you type some node out there on the internet, it converts it to an address. And that address could be four numbers, each between 0 and 255, for IP, Internet Protocol version 4, or it could be a 128-bit binary number for the newer protocol called IPv6, or Internet Protocol v6. Both are in operation. IPv6 continues to advance, and more people are using it. Has great advantages for network administration, and of course that's not our issue here, but I just wanted you to know there's this thing called domain name service that changes domain names into these numbers so that the underlying protocols can work, and the two most overarching underlying protocols that use the DNS, the domain name service, are Internet Protocol v4. That's where you have the four numbers with the dots in between them, or Internet Protocol v6. We're going to use v4 here. That's the way our machine is addressed. And so I'm going to SSH to claudeshannon01.ml. I'm sorry, claudeshannon01.ml, and I'm going to try to log into the helper account. And I've done this before, so it's pretty well recognized. The first time you do this, if you haven't used the name before, you may get that message about security keys and everything, in which you would just type YES for yes. So I'm going to put in my password, and we're in. There's all this junk, but we're in. Okay. Now let's clear the screen. Now we all have a directory called all caps CSI 121, and I'm actually going to go into that directory, CSI 121, and in that directory there's another directory, or subdirectory if you will, called examples. And so I'm going to cd into examples, and now you can see in my prompt tilde represents, it's a shorthand for your login account. So if your name were Fred Jones, tilde might represent /home/fjones 631, or whatever the last 3 digits of Fred Jones' student ID would be. But very typical on Linux machines that your login account is /home/your username. All right. So here we are. So I'm in /home/helper CSI121/examples. And to prove that, I'll do a print working directory, or PWD. And there you go, /home/helper/CSI121/examples. That's the directory I'm in. And that starts right from /, since it starts with a /, which is the root directory. That gives an absolute path name to where I am. And if I do an ls now and look at this stuff, these are all the, a ton of different files, some of which we have looked at in past videos, but I wanted to give you a set of videos just to get you started messing around with this stuff. So I guess what I would do here is I was going to go after these ones that begin with 001. But we can look at some simpler ones here. Here's one, 000, a scripting example.sh. Let's take a look at that. Now I will cat that out, 000 underscore a scripting. In this file, I'll hit the tab key. And what does this do? It does echo. This is line 1 of our shell script. We're using the echo command to echo out exact text, that's all. And then echo 2, this is line 2 of our shell script. Actually, it's not. We have some comments in our shell script. You see, the shell script begins with the shebang characters, then /bin/bash. That's necessary. And we're going to run the date command, and then we're going to do an ls of every file that begins with 000 underscore, and that star is a wildcard. So, if we have multiple files that start with 000 underscore, we'll see them listed. So, so you have an existing shell script you can run here. One of the things we have to be sure of is, does this shell script file, let's just take a look at this. File 000 underscore a scripting example. Well, I'm just going to run the file command, and it tells me that this is a born again shell. Born again shell script, meaning a bash is born again shell, named after Steve Born, and it's ASCII text executable. ASCII text is the simplest kind of text file. And in many places foregoing, it will be, you'll see text files in the Unicode, UNICODE format. But in either case, it's an ASCII text executable. If we do an ls-l on that file, Once again, I type that much and hit tab. So let's do a long directory listing on that file. When we look over here, the dash means that it's a regular file, and it is. The RWX means that the owner can read, write it, including delete it, or execute it. And if other people could get to this directory, others could read it and execute it. So, now, I guess the thing to do here is executing it, remembering that it should echo 2 lines, give us a date command, and then list out all the files that begin with 000 underscore. Now, there's 2 ways that you can execute this file. The most common way, because it has the executable attribute or permission, would be to type 0/000 underscore a scripting file example, like that. And we can see there's line 1 of our shell script. There's line 2. There's the date. And I managed to get the date formatted to be our regular time. So it's 2:10 on Tuesday, April 27th, as we read this. And there are 3 files that begin with 000 underscore. Ours is one of them. And so that's all well and good, and it ran. The other way to execute a file is to type the command source 000 underscore. Sorry, that's me hitting the brightness button. A scripting example, and that does the same thing. The source has its place, but the proper way, if you want to be proper, it would be to use the // for a script that has already had its executable permission enabled. So that's our first shell script. And we have another shell script here named 000 under another shell script. Let's take a look at that. I will cat that one out. And, well, it just does the same thing. There's nothing there, so forget about it, huh? So we have those 2. Maybe what we should do is make our own shell script, because we know what a shell script is now. It's a text file with some bash commands in it. And we have this nice fancy header up here, and you have this stuff. But if you make your own, obviously you're going to want to change. You can get rid of created if you want, and just leave it blank, or say put your initials in or something. And you could put your email address here. There are a lot of programmers, and I'm probably one of them that would be better off not leaving a trace back to who or where they are. Because you could wind up having to answer questions about just what the heck it was you were trying to do in that program you wrote. This is the beauty of being in computers for a long time, and having made every mistake that can be made, is that I have veritably no shame at all. So, people call me up, I'll try to help them best I can, but they're the ones that were fool enough to run my program. So, just kidding. A little professionalism there. Always good. Help people out. Want to be helpful. Yeah. All right. So, let's make our own script. And so what we want to do is just use a text editor program. Nano is a favorite among those who are coming to Linux, for the first time nowadays. I use VI, or it's actually Vim now. VIM has taken over for VI. And if I were to no, this guy doesn't even have an alias for VI, does he? Well, here we'll do this. We can do which VI, and VI, the original VI is actually installed on this system. So some systems use Vim, and then since Vim is like a superset of VI, if you type VI, it's just aliased. In other words, it's a synonym for Vim. So good to know about that. But you know, for what we're doing here, I'm going to clear the screen. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to list all the files that begin with 000, and let's make a file, nano, and we'll call it 000 underscore yet another, oh boy, yet another shell, shell script.sh. Now, just to say something I've said before, in command line Linux, file extensions mean almost nothing except their informational value. In a GUI, you know, when you're running Windows, Linux, or whatever in a desktop setting, the file extension can help the operating system know what to do with that file when you double click on it. If it's a .txt file, it might bring up a text editor like Notepad, or Notepad++ is a very nice text editor, or Emacs, or other fine text editor. And so that's where a file extension can help you. If it's a .docx, it would bring up either Microsoft Word or maybe LibreOffice Writer. Okay, so on and so forth. These, you know, these file extensions kind of tell you what that file is for. So in a scripting environment, in a Linux command line environment, this file extension, if you want, I mean, Linux doesn't even consider them file extensions. You know, you can have a file like a.b.c.d.e, you know, but they put the extension on the end as a convention. And when you see .sh, you go, okay, that's a shell script. You know, it's kind of a giveaway. So I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to go into nano. And what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to put in the shebang. So I'm going to put in octothorpe and the exclamation point /bin/bash. That's where you're going to find bash on every Linux system I've ever used. And, you know, I'm medium experienced in these things. Now, the octothorpe itself, without anything else, it just indicates that line as a comment. So we can start to do things like you saw our you know, situation from before, program, and we can put like 1. Put in 8 spaces, and we're going to call this 000 underscore yet another shell script.sh, and author. What a dignified title for a hack, huh? I mean, talking in my case, not you guys. So we'll put, since we're doing this for HCC, we'll put our HCC email in. Now, what am I doing? You can see that I made a mistake already. The first one this year. All right, jcooper@hccc.edu. And it's good to have a description. This is a demonstration bash shell script. Oh heck, let's go down here. Remember to put the octothorpe in to keep it as a comment line. Shell script for HCCs. CSI 121 Linux class. This script will, what will it do? Let's do a couple simple things. This script will echo the name of this machine and let's see, echo the name of this machine and the user's name and the date. How's that? So we'll get to put a few things out there. All right, now we've gotten through all that boilerplate junk. It is good practice. So what we want to do down here, echo. Now that blank line right there, you could have it, you could not have it. It just doesn't matter in this case. So here we can echo this machine. We put a colon 1, 2, 3, and let's use one of the variables that I hope we have as part of our environment. $hostname. That's a variable created for us by the system. All right. There's also a command called hostname. We could have run that. Excuse me. So sorry. And then we're going to echo out. Well, actually, that's an echo. Trying to. I'm not sure if I got this right. We may have to debug this a little. And then we want the date. So let's put out the date, and we'll do it in that ISO format that I like so much. We'll do the date command has this fancy thing. You put a plus sign and quotes, and again the uppercase Y gives you the 4-digit year, and then you get your what am I doing here? You get your 2-digit month and your 2-digit day, and you don't have. Oftentimes I don't put this in, but you get the capital H is your 24-hour or like military time hour, and capital M is percent. So each of these percent Y thing, there are codes for like putting in fields into the date. So that's a way to that's a way to format the date command. We could just say date, and you'd get a format that comes from the system, or you can say date with this stuff, and you'll get a format. Again, now I don't need this blank line at the end, but it's just something I like to do. All right, so we want to write this file out. So Control O says file name to write, 000 under yet another shell script.sh. Yes, I'm going to hit on my machine it's called return, maybe enter on yours. Whoa. Error writing a file, permission denied. Okay, how to screw up a nice simple video, Jeff. Let me go see what I have done to mess that up. Alrighty, and let's see, I may have to change this directory. I'm down in the CSI, excuse me, here I am in my home directory, /home/helper. I'm going to CD down into CSI 121. All right. Here I am, and I'm going to do an ls-ld of examples. Now, what does the D do? L gives us a long listing, but if I just type ls-l examples, it will list what's inside of examples. By saying ls-ld, it's like I want a long listing of this directory itself, and it says I'm able to write in it. Well, let's see. Maybe we, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go into that examples directory, and then I'm going to do a long listing on all these files that begin with 000 underscore. We don't have a file of that type, but it says error writing that guy, and I do not know why. Permission denied. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all this stuff if I can. Probably not. I'll write this out to my home directory. Okay, so I'm going to do a Control-O, and I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to write it to tilde/000 underscore yet another shell script.sh. Okay. Save under different name? Yes. Now I'm going to exit this. Control X. So, I'm just going to try to do something. I'm going to touch Fred. Cannot touch Fred. Permission denied. There's some problem here. I can't even write into my own directory. So, boy, you know what I believe the problem is here is ownership. Let's take a look again at the, oh, look at this. Look who owns these files. Root owns these files. I will fix that for you guys. That's where the problem was. Here I am down here, and I'm trying to write into this, and root owns these files, which means root owns the examples. So I will fix that forthwith. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to become root for a second, and I'm going to change the ownership on the examples directory, because you can see root owns these, and root can read, write, which includes delete, and execute from this directory. The rest of us, anybody in the root group can read or execute, but the rest of the world can only read and execute. They can't write. So that's my bad. I will fix that for all of you after this video. But for now, I'm going to fix mine. So I'm going to chown let's see. I'm going to go back to my home directory and I'm going to look at CSI 121, and that's owned by root. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the owner on CSI to change owner to helper on CSI 121. Sorry. And it's not going to let me do that unless I invoke root privileges. So I type sudo and so that's done. And now I'm going to change the group on that file to helper. And then I'm going to do the same thing with examples. And do the same thing ownership-wise with examples. And so I'm going to cd into examples, and I'm going to make myself the owner of every file and make my group the group for every file. Now that I've done that, let's try doing this. Let's go back to CD and I made a new file. There it is, sitting in my login directory. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that file. I'm going to move it to CSI 121/examples. And it made it. If I do an ls now, you can see I don't have the 000 file anymore here. And if I do an ls of CSI 121/examples, oops, well, there it is, yet another shell script, and it's in yellow instead of green, so we still have some work to do. We have to change it to add executable. Now I could do a +X, or I could do this. I want to make it so I can read, write, or execute it, and anybody else who could possibly get to it can read or execute it. And in octal, that would be 755, and that's 000 underscore. Sorry. If I'm going to do that, maybe I should just go to the directory where I'm at. Okay. And now I'm going to change the mode of that file to 755. There we go. And if we do a directory listing again, we now see it's listed in green and we can execute it. So what we did is we made a file in Nano, and then I had screwed up because I put the files in all your directories, but I didn't give you ownership of them. So I am going to write a script that will do that, and maybe I can put that on a video as well, just so you can see a script written for system administration. Okay, we're almost done here. So let's execute our script. So we should be able to type ./000, yet another shell script.sh. And it says this machine is Claude Shannon 01, the name of our machine. The username is helper, and that's our date right there. So, you know, and I think we'll do one little cleanup. Let's see if we can. I'm going to go nano. Hit the tab key to finish that. Let's come down here and well, no, let's not let's not do that. We have a script that works. Let's be happy with that. So I'm going to do Control X and get out of here. So we used Nano to make a script. We used Chmod to make it executable. Then we found out that Eldorco had not made it so we could actually save the file. So I went and changed some ownership and group status so I could at least write the file in my directory. My next job is to make the file so you guys can will be able to write it in your directories. And I think I'll make a fool of myself by making a video of me writing the script that will change all of your ownerships of your CSI and examples directories and all the files therein to be owned by you. Okay? Take it easy, and we'll hope to make you a second video. All right? Thanks for your patience.